Hello and welcome back to The Road to Success as a Music Artist, Episode 4. It's the 5th of January in 2017, the year in which I set a lot of goals, as I told you in the last video. And I have to say, I've got a big announcement, which is that I've just put up my website, which I'm very, very happy about. Those of you who watched the last video might be thinking, hang on, that wasn't one of the goals. And that's because this was actually a goal that I set myself to finish before the end of 2016. And I put the website up on the 2nd of January. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, the website took a long time to come together. I actually first set up the server like about 3 months ago. And really the problem with it was that I didn't have good art. Because, a website, it's a very visual thing. And I sort of had the proto website coming together and it just looked like crap and I didn't like it. And I just couldn't get excited about it, when it doesn't look great. I just, it's really hard for me to get excited about working on it. And so a couple of nights ago, in fact, this was on January 1st, on the evening of New Year's Day. I was sitting here at home thinking, I've really got to do something about this photos problem. I'm just going to have another go, because I've had some photo shoots before and, wasn't really happy with how they turned out. And so I thought, rather than sit around stressing about it, I'm just going to have another go. And I started, putting some things together, and I remembered that I had these lights that I've actually owned for a few years. They're kind of like these party neons that I bought like a number of years ago because I thought they looked cool. And I realized that they kind of fit with my whole theme of like electronic devices and what have you. And I set those up and started fiddling with the camera and fiddling with some shots, and it started to look not too bad, but just terrible office background, wasn't doing anything for it. So I went and looked in my little workshop room and I found I had this big old roll of calico. So I sort of jury-rigged a way of hanging that up from the ceiling behind me to give me a backdrop, and fiddled with the camera settings to make the background quite dark, and with a few other lighting tricks, I got an LED lamp that I have, and I stuffed it right in the bottom of a very long box to give me a spotlight, and I propped that up to shine on my face, and I ended up coming up with some pretty good pictures that I was really quite proud of. If I go to the gallery page on my website, you can see they look like this. And, I'm not a photographer, but I do play one on this website. And, as the photo shoot went on, it kind of developed and it just got better and better. And, it was a really great lesson for me in terms of just getting started and it turning out to be better than I expected, because, when you sit at the start thinking, I don't know how to make this any good, so I'm not going to even try, which, I'm guilty of doing that all the time. And, I was doing that in terms of the artwork for this website, because I don't consider myself a visual artist. But, that night when I was doing these photos, I just kept at it, and every 10 minutes or so of me fiddling around with the camera, I'd come up with another idea that I would add, and then I would add another idea. And after about 2 or 3 hours of me, just coming up with ideas and adding lighting and fiddling with camera settings and everything, eventually I got this shot, which I thought, and it was only near the end of the photo shoot, I was like, I should get those goggles, and this scarf, and play around with that. And, the way the light plays off the chromed elements on the goggles, and it all just came together really well. And I was really happy with that. And so then, having these photos just really gave me the energy and the excitement to finish the website. And so, for the entire day of the 2nd of January, from like morning until 1 o'clock the next morning, on the 3rd of January actually is when I finally sat back and just went, I've done everything I can do. I put together most of the rest of the site. Now it's a pretty basic at the moment. It's just a blog. I've put up my my previous videos of this series. There's songs that I've released last year are in here, all in date order, previous blog posts, etc. You can go to a music page which just lists all the songs, like that. And there's a lot to do, but it's a great start, and I'm really happy with that. So that's goal 0 ticked off. I have made some progress on my goal number 1, which was to define my artist story. And that is, I've been sticking some stuff on the wall up here, which is out of shot, but I've got a bit of the working wall going. And, I've been doing a lot of journaling about these sorts of things, and what I'm going to, how I'm going to sort of assemble my story, and what I'm going to say about who I am as an artist and what my music is. So that's coming along. I've still got 10 days, because it's the 5th today and the deadline was the 15th. So I've still got 10 days to work on that, but I'm quietly confident that I'll be able to pull something out of the bag. Although once I come up with, I'm hoping to pull a name out of that, and then as soon as I do that, I'm probably then going to want to rename the website, which is fine. One other thing I wanted to talk about was that another way that I'm serving my goals for 2017 is that last year, over the last 3 months of last year, I started up a Newcastle singing meetup on meetup.com. And, I held 7 meetups before the end of the year. And then I put it on hiatus just over the Christmas period because everyone would be busy. And over that time, I've been thinking really long and hard about whether I wanted to keep doing it. Because, it was taking up a bit of time. And I'm not a person who has a hell of a lot of time. And, I've already set myself a whole ambitious goals for 2017, which I'm freaking out a little bit about because, I've really set myself some huge goals. So I thought long and hard about it. And so the thing is that the Singers Meetup, it wasn't really going the way that I hoped it would anyway. And I thought, about how I would make it work better. And I realized that, I would have to put a lot more time into it. And it's just started to become a competing goal. And that was never the intention. So tonight, I actually just sent out the email to tell everyone in the Singers Meetup that I'm not going to do it anymore for 2017. And that's a big thing for me because, I have, I've got pretty bad nice guy syndrome, or I used to have. I recognize, I could become a lot more self-aware about it. And generally that means I have a lot of difficulty saying no to people, which doesn't serve me because, I end up doing things for other people even though I don't really want to do them. And then, if I don't feel like, they recognize that, which of course they wouldn't, because why would they think I'm doing something for them that I don't want to do? And then when I don't get that recognition, I get resentful and etc. And that's not necessarily what was happening with the Singers Meetup, but I could feel that it was starting to go that way, which is not where I wanted it to go at all. And I really do want to do the Singers Meetup because the plan for that was that it was helping me to get more confident with leading and instructing people in vocals, and that I would then eventually be able to take that into becoming a vocal teacher. And that is still in my future, but I just really don't have time for it in 2017, and I had to prioritize. And so in order to honour these goals that I've set myself, I've had to say no to quite a lot of people, actually, because the meetup is now up to 65 members. But having said that, I never had double-digit number of people turn up. And that was another problem, because it was, the group was a bit of a drop-in centre. And there's like a huge pool of people who nominally, expressed interest. And then every night that I held it, on average, I'd have about 3 people show up. And those 3 people were often 3 totally new people every time. So I wasn't even getting, continuity of the same people coming all the time in order to develop a bit of a group feel and a camaraderie. That just wasn't happening, which is, another pretty major factor in me feeling like I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. But anyway, I've put that to bed as of tonight, and onwards and upwards. So far, kicking goals for 2017, including getting a video up on Thursday, which is my current plan. I want to get up a video every Thursday, and I'm starting off the year on the right foot with this one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.